All right. Hello and welcome to our next exit interview. We are here with Giraffes, who was just evicted from the 1984 house last night. So tell us what happened.
Basically, I hitched a wagon to somebody who everybody else thought was not reliable or trustworthy. They started a spiral. I jumped and bailed ship to let other people know what he was saying. And, apparently that was the wrong thing to do to give people a heads up that somebody might be talking some shit about them. Apparently I was wrong for that, I guess. I would have wanted to know.
All right. Um, so along with that, who do you specifically blame for your eviction?
I mean, logically, the only person I can truly specifically blame is Shelby because they're the person that knocked me twice. So it's like I kind of heard not to put Shelby at direct blame beside myself.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Do you think there were any other players in it too?
There probably were because I know I probably shot myself in the foot by being a very much more um active person than Calypso. And apparently in this season, at least when I saw when it was between Chris and Marissa before Chris decided to walk, a lot of people were that I was talking to at least were wanting to keep Chris over Marissa because Chris was starting to become more inactive, and apparently motherfuckers want to make it shit easy instead of having a true game. So each
So,
their
so when Shelby won power, did you expect to be potentially sitting here at the end of the round, or is this kind of a surprise to you from how you felt at the beginning of the round?
I knew going in if Shelby won, this was a possibility, but I thought I had made enough connections that even with the Chris debacle, that I would have still been safe because I was like, I thought I made a lot of good, strong connections. I really did. Apparently, I was wrong, which is not an easy thing for me to say. If anybody who has played with me enough times knows, I don't like admitting I'm wrong. Very much no. We'll never do that sometimes. But, you know, like I said already, apparently some people are wanting to make it a more easy game for themselves, which I cannot be mad at as like somebody who just plays these orgs. Sometimes it's easy. It's just good to have an easy ride, but other times it's going to make for a boring season.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's playing their own game and, sometimes it just takes over everything. But let me see. If we were to have reset the game, start back from day one, what would you have done differently?
Not worked with Chris because that seems to have been the pinhold of everything. I would not have worked with Chris. I would have nominated his ass when Shelby suggested it. I would have just been the perfect little cog for whatever machine was going at that time, wait and bide my time, because I'm still a little bit of the old school player where, if shit ain't interesting by round three, shit ain't getting interesting. Or anybody who's been around as long as me. Um, so I still have a little bit of that in me where it's like, it's round three. We need to make a move or else it's going to be boring and I want a little bit of drama. Like, especially if I'm not in it, but I'm just causing it. I love it because I can just sit back, eat my popcorn, watching two bitches fight. And I'm just like, I caused all this and I'm happy.
So obviously you were on the block with Calypso. Why do you feel that that move was made to take you out instead of Calypso?
For the second time?
Um, I wish I could honestly tell you because I don't know. because I love Calypso. But they are very much, when they are playing, from what I've seen, this is only their second game, where they're not really flexible with who they're working with and who they're not wanting to work with. As soon as they decide they don't want to work with you, guess what, bitch? You're fucked. Whereas with me, I'm a little bit more like, yeah, you might have nommed me at one point, but I also really need to use you because you could help me get further in the game. So I'm gonna fuck you for right now. Keep an eye out for me because I will fuck you over soon. But for right now, I need to work. I need to play nice. And there's also the whole active thing, which is not their fault because of their fucking working third shifts. But at the same time, it's like, what happened to active players getting the boost? I missed those days. I loved those days. I was a part of those days. Where I would actually focus and pinpoint and knock out those who weren't that active. Because it's like, why would I get rid of somebody who's not that active over somebody who is active? Yeah, the active person could be a bigger threat down the road, but they're finding a way at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, with where the game left off from the last bits that you saw, who are you rooting for?
Calypso. I'm definitely rooting for my baby girl. Like I don't get me wrong, I do not see her winning at this moment right now, but I'm still going to be rooting for her because that's my baby. Um, and then after them, Roxanne, just because got to go for the underdog.
So, um, if you don't see Calypso winning, who do you see at this point winning it all?
I could honestly see Roxanne winning, just because Roxanne is, even though she hasn't won any yet, she is pretty good at the challenges as far as when they are like the no materials or the writing stuff down challenges. She's very good at those and has came close to winning a few times. Like I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't fully expecting that walking in because, you know, but at the same time, it's like so far as I know, she hasn't ticked anybody off. She hasn't really, made any blunders. And also she has like the perfect shield of Amanda, who is more of a veteran. She did 1984 surviving. And, even though they both love reality TV together, I feel like Roxanne's gonna be able to look at it more as a more analytically, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Whereas Amanda's gonna probably look at it more like compartmentalize. I don't know how to like, you know what I'm trying to say though. Like
Yeah.
Roxanne's gonna be better overthinker than Amanda.
Okay. And I want to quickly reflect on, your time in the game because even though it wasn't as long as you would have liked, you definitely had some interesting moments and some big moments. So what is a moment, whether it's a specific challenge or just a conversation, what is a moment that really stands out to you that you are proud of or just something you'll take away and remember from this experience?
So when I initially came to do 1984, um, I already knew I had 2 days where there were specific times where I was just not going to be available. And I wasn't going to be asleep. It's because I had specific meetings. And I was like, I'm gonna say that I have meetings. I'm not gonna say what the meetings are for, because I typically don't like to get that personal in orgs. I know other people do, but for me, it's just like that's a barrier. I'm like I use, even though I used to use my legal name, I now use my alias, my drag name,
Mhm.
because you know, good, separation.
Yeah.
But um I also was like, if somebody asks, I'm not going to lie because that's a stupid thing to lie about.
Yeah.
And I was able to, for the first time ever in orgs, truly open up and show a little bit of the gushy inside. And I will say, that is probably one of my favorite moments because I'm growing. That old giraffes would not have done that. And like I said in one of the chats for me, old giraffes before I started going to my meetings would have on their way out burn shit to the ground. There would be no survivors, ashes everywhere. There would be a goat screaming for some reason. As anybody who's ever watched me do game before might know, especially with the Isle of Money. Still my favorite moment. Uh, but I didn't. And part of it is because of my meetings that I go to, and then that I'm also just now like opening up more. And it's just like, and I feel like that kind of helped me definitely get past the first few rounds. Because I had more things to start talking about than just the game. But yeah, that's definitely going to be one of my pinhole
Yeah, no,
moments.
that's amazing. I'm so glad that you were able to have that experience here and take that away. I thought you were gonna say the duel that you had against Amaya and Champagne, because that was
I
epic.
was trying to block that from my memory. Thank you so much, because that's also up there. Because I'm not going to lie, after because Calypso got the answers correct more than I did. Because a lot of those we've been friends for 8 years. Like we talk about a lot of this shit. But also drag performers together. So I, for some reason, just didn't equate karaoke song to duet lip sync number. Because Mother knows best. We've talked about doing that one so often that occasionally I'll just break into it and they'll finish. Like, like I can't believe I got that one wrong. And then same thing with Pennsylvania. It's like we've talked about that stuff so much. It's like, how did I get that wrong?
You know what? At least, you know what? The mistakes don't matter because you stayed, you got through, and that was a nail biter. It really was. And I saw the look on your face during that whole challenge. I mean, just really just incredible to watch, and it was good to see you guys prevail and get through because I know how badly you guys wanted to.
And not to mention that, I also suck at challenges, and the fact that I've won two while I was here. I am like,
Hmm.
yes.
Well, I think that's why I was able to see how excited you were when you won that duel. I saw you physically jump up with excitement because you won. And I was just like, oh, she wanted this. I could tell.
And I think the last question we had for you was, so who do you think is gonna go home next? I don't know how much, if anything, you know in terms of head of household and nominations.
I do know right now, because of course everything would happen after I leave, where Devin would finally win HOH, and then of course we'd finally find out that Benji and LJ are the ones that have that fucking power, because of course they would. Why did nobody ever think of that before? Like, before I got eliminated, we could have used that then. Really could have used that one then. But I do know that LJ right now, because LJ took Benji's spot,
Yes.
Mhm.
and Marissa are nominated. Um, yeah, as if LJ or Benji stay on the block, get on the block. I'm gonna be honest, I do not see LJ staying, because I've had enough conversations with people where they're all kind of in the same boat about LJ, where they feel like everybody else is here to work and be with their partner until they can no longer actually be in the game with their partner. LJ kind of feeling like, they came in with their partner, they'll work with their partner for like a while when they need to, but then we'll be the first one to say, okay, bitch, bye. Um, so I do not see LJ lasting the vote if he's sitting there on eviction night, because that kind of a read doesn't bode well. Because, like, why would we keep you over Benji, who, as far as the vibes I was getting from Benji, was down to working with LJ until the bitter end. Whereas with LJ, it was, I'll work with you until I have to vote you out, which ultimately, yeah, is how everybody should be when they're coming in with a duo. But it was more apparent.
So you think LJ's in a worse position socially than Benji is what I'm getting.
Fuck yeah! LJ sucks.
All right, well, time will tell. Do you have any other questions?
Well, just along with that, and you think that up against Marissa, LJ would be the one to go.
I will say this. When the house decides, when the specific people in power decide who they want gone, um, whoever is sitting there next to them is perfectly safe. The other person's like, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of felt like I was gonna be the target no matter what, unless Calypso won, or if I stayed up and I won.
Mhm.
Um, like, as soon as the power of B, whether it's the HOH or there's an actual like power team or whatever in there, once they decide what they want, so far it seems like the house is going to follow suit because, in all honesty, there's no reason why there should have been a dual week two. To me, there was no reason as far as I was seeing and as far as everybody was telling me up until, hey, we might be doing this. It was going to be a very simple Champagne and Maya voted out. Then all of a sudden, some people got wild hair up their ass, and it's like, oh, we might have a duel, because we feel like it. And it's just like, that's suspicious. That's weird.
Understood. Anything else you want to add?
No?
Okay. Well, final thoughts on the experience, Giraffes? Anything else you'd like to share?
It was definitely worth the fourth time around. Trying to do this shit. I can't remember the act because I know it was several for surviving and then several for the Big Brother. I can't remember the actual ratios.
Yeah.
But I will definitely say it was definitely worth it. And like I said, when I was evicted, I could not have chosen anybody better than Calypso to go into the game with. They're the one of the two people that I can truly say I trust 1,000%. Um, and ultimately, don't forget me for the short lists whenever there's an All Stars chance.
Well, thank you so much. I know you applied multiple times and we really felt like this time this was the right cast to put you with, and I stand by that wholeheartedly. I think that this was the right cast and the right experience. Obviously, unfortunately, you didn't make it further, but Calypso's still in, and that counts for something, and we'll see how far they make it. But I'm glad that we were able to give you the opportunity this time. I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and I thank you for taking the time to not only participate in the season but do the exit interview with us. So from me, from Chris, and from all of Prod, really thank you for being a part of it because you were entertaining as fuck.
Yes,
So
you definitely brought
Always.
the entertainment, and I was living for it. And anytime I saw a message from you, I needed to immediately go look at it.
I know, and now it's going to be so boring to read everything because nobody has my sense of humor. We're so close, but the bitch don't know how to tell a joke.
all right. Thank you so much, Giraffes. We really appreciate it.